Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We have a super exciting video to make today because the market just crashed again. Not really crashed, but it closed down 1% again. It feels like it's been doing this every other day. This time it's been over 1%, exactly 1.44%. But Google, we need to talk about Google. This thing is down 10% on the day. I didn't see what it did in after hours. Let's check that out right now. It dropped even more in extended hours all the way down to 124. So very exciting times. There are things you can buy at a discount. Um, for me personally, Google isn't a buy just yet. I'm gonna wait till we fall into some consolidation here. I'd like to pick up a lot of shares at 108, 107 range, but I might start dollar cost averaging in the 115 range and then really picking up my position there. So we actually had some great trades. Let me show you guys some day trades that we took today in the Discord. I was able to live trade them, so that was great. A lot of people got in. We made some money. As you guys can see, this was just following my usual intraday strategy. This was more of a speculative trade, but it worked out very well. All three take profits were hit on both of them. But in this video, we're going to be talking about long-term investments. So what are we putting in? What are we putting money in for the long term? So what am I buying? I'm buying a whole lot of American Airlines while it's down at $11. This is just beyond ridiculous to see. I mean, American Airlines reported great earnings. They've had great runs recently. Let me show you guys the all-time chart on American Airlines. It's interesting because yes, we're down. We tanked from COVID with the COVID crash, right? But when we actually saw American Airlines doing well, it was in the 50s, 40 to 60s range. But of course, that's not going to be very accurate in terms of today's economy, a lot of stuff going on, and so we're basically at COVID lows on American Airlines, and I'm loving it. Basically, every time American Airlines has gotten this low in the past year or so, I've gotten in and sold at like $14, $15, even almost $20. We hit like 17 something, so very exciting. I'm buying a whole lot of American Airlines. I don't know exactly how many shares I have right now, but it's around 200 because I'm selling calls on 100 of the shares and then keeping some just in case we explode, because we do have days like this where it's healthy to take some profits and then look to get in, look to dollar cost average on days like this where we see it down over a percent. So then we've also got Ford. Ford was down for a while today, so I loaded up on some more shares. I think I only have about 50 to 60 Ford shares right now, but I got some, and then it went from being red on the day to green on the day, so that was interesting. Not really signaling anything specific, but at least we're not like very down on those. I think my buy-in price is at 11.33, so my average buy-in price, so that's interesting. Ford, if we go on the all-time chart, obviously the car market is not very happy right now, but where we see it right now, it's actually the low of consolidation in almost Ford's entire history. Like, we see moves up here from these levels all the time. So I'm super happy to buy Ford right now. And like the lowest it's gotten in a while is $4, which would be a huge move down, but premiums are so high that I can sell calls all the way down and make some money. And let me show you guys something interesting. This is another one that I buy a lot of every time it gets low, and then I sell at around, I mean, I've had some pretty bad ones where we sold early, right, but also some pretty good ones where we're selling in the 15 range. So this is our trade right now. I'll go ahead and extend this because it's unlikely it just explodes, but we've got earnings coming up soon. And previously, every time that I've bought before here, it's worked out very well. Of course, this time might be different, but so far it's worked out very well, and I'm very comfortable owning Ford shares with a 10% dividend yield. That's absolutely insane. I'm loving it. I'm collecting a very high dividend while also selling calls, so it's basically as good as it gets, especially while it's so cheap. And then what is probably the most exciting position that I own in my entire portfolio is going to be BNKU. So as we went over in the last video, this is the top 10 US banks, so like PNC Financial, Truist, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citibank, things like that. Just the top 10 US banks, and it's 3 times leveraged. So yes, banks have been down with interest rates. We're about to get FOMC on Wednesday, so they'll probably get nailed again if we do get an interest rate hike. However, here's the interesting part. Here is the interesting part, guys. So if we go to the all-time chart, what do we see during this entire run where interest rate hikes weren't bothering banks? We see a huge run all the way from an easy like $54 to all the way up to $74. What do we see before the COVID crash, before banks got hit really, really badly? We saw, what is this, like $82. That's absolutely insane. So if you're holding BNKU right now 3 times leveraged and the market goes up, you're gonna make a killing. Like, here's something to take into account, especially if you're a new investor. You're a little scared of what's going on right now and what's been happening. I mean, look at this. This is terrifying. But look at this. If we zoom out, I mean, the Bears, in terms of like a long-term standpoint, the Bears don't stand a chance, right? Every single time we've come down, every time we've run right back up and done multiples, huge multiples. So what do we think about BNKU now? This has only been a thing since 2019. So this thing, when SPY goes up, this is going to perform super well. And I absolutely love how diversified it is. Not only is it 10 different banks, the best 10, the top 10 in the US, but I mean, those 10 are all like super, what's the word? Safe investments. Probably everyone who invests in the stock market, if they're not like those weird penny stock investors, is gonna own these banks, right? So there's no reason for them to fall. They've been in operation for so long. They're the most dominant banks. They're gonna go crazy, and we're gonna make a lot of money with this BNKU position. So I'm super excited. In terms of smaller positions, we saw Target, which was actually up today. Target, yes, it was up today, but it's been down like crazy, and it's actually surprised because it's one of the, if not the best run retailer in the world, and they have had some issues, especially with advertising recently, but I'm super comfortable buying this right now. I absolutely love it at 110. Anywhere, it was at 106, even, what is this, like 102? So I'm going to be buying it up for sure in hopes of another run, and it's something that I would always hold. Like, there's no reason Target should be falling, realistically. Disney as well. Disney has had some issues. So let's go to the all-time chart. Disney had a huge run. We saw this at $200, and now it's below $100. So the reason I'm putting such an emphasis now on buying Disney, it's still one of my smaller positions, but I'm buying a whole lot more right now at around $80 is because of this. We saw it bottom out at $80 over here. This was the COVID drop, and so I absolutely love that it just ran up exactly from where we are now when it got here before we ran up. And so I'm loading up on Disney. I think this is going to perform very well, but it's still not one of my larger positions, right? NEO, this is one I used to day trade a lot. I am not invested with a single penny in this stock. I don't know. I remember people were saying as soon as it falls below $20, we're buying this up like crazy. It's going to go to $100. We're all going to be rich. I never really saw it. I just day traded it, and mainly puts anyways. So I made a lot of money trading NEO, but not actually investing in it, and it looks like that was the right play. They do have really cool cars, actually, and right now the car market isn't doing too good. GM is down, Ford is down, all that stuff. You'd have to see some great economic news in terms of the car market to actually consider getting in NEO, or else it's really just a speculative play. However, there are good option premiums, so you could sell calls on this. It's not dumb, but you have to have a plan, right? So they have cool race cars like the NEO EP9. That's a really cool car, but they're all electric, so I will not be buying myself unless or I won't be buying an electric car for myself from NIO unless somehow I get in and this thing runs to $100. Dollar Tree made a tiny comeback, tiny, tiny, tiny. This thing really fell, but if we see, we do have a nice trend line, right? This is one I've been watching for a while. Right now I'm not invested in it, but look at this. That's pretty hopeful, right? I'm not gonna get in just yet. I'm not sure if I will end up getting in, but Dollar Tree is an interesting one. And then one more that I'd like to look at. Where is it? Starbucks. This one's interesting as well. I'm not bullish or bearish on Starbucks, but we've seen a ton of volatility recently. Let's go here. So this is what I'm watching, Starbucks earnings. I think if Starbucks falls significantly down to, I don't know, the 70s, I'll look to buy some Starbucks, but until then, probably not going to be something that I'll be picking up. But earnings is in what? A couple days. All right, yeah. So very soon we'll see what Starbucks does, but that's going to be it for this video. I think the idea of the video is just going to be to buy some more BNKU, especially if it falls. This thing's going to do multiples, and I cannot wait for it to drop even more so I can buy some for it to skyrocket in the future. Excuse me, I can't talk. This has been a long video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like always, have a great rest of your day and join the Discord for the amazing alerts we've been having.